Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Today, building around Parker Luck, an interesting symmetrical enchantment from the Spider-Man set. 3 mana, black, at the beginning of your end step, 2 target players each reveal the top card of their library. They each lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. Then they each put the card they revealed into their hand. So the clear and obvious idea here is that you break this symmetry by filling your deck with big mana cards, expensive cards that will hopefully just burn out your opponent. And you kind of need a strategy that is fine through a lot of free card draw for your opponent, essentially. So how do we do that? Well, today we're running the Dragons package, 4 Scavenger Regent, 4 Disruptive Stormbrood. These have a relatively high mana value, but they also are very flexible along the curve. Scavenger Regent, a great answer to this issue of giving your opponents cards, especially against like aggro decks. This will help clean up big boards, otters, or if you run into like the mouse strategies, etc., etc. Same with Disruptive Stormbrood, very flexible. Also great in the current meta generally. Can blow up a Monument to Endurance. We're on 4 Overlord of the Baelmerk, finding our key cards, including Scavenger Regent, Stormbrood, and this lovable fella over here from the Avatar set, Cat-Gator. A big whopping 7 mana, 3/2, lifelink. When this creature enters, it deals damage equal to the number of swamps you control to any target. Most often, we're pointing this at a creature. Just stabilize on the board, get a lot of life back, and reset. However, obviously, this can go face and just kill your opponent sometimes. Now, it is very expensive. We're not casting it too often. Ideally, it's just a big target we reveal off of Parker Luck, aka Duskmourn's Claim from Through the Omen Paths. We're also playing 3 Push Pull. This is an 8 CMC card from Murders at Karlov Manor. It is flexible. It can destroy a creature for 2 mana, tapped creature. But also, the pull side, put up to 2 target creature cards from a single graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. They gain haste until end of turn, sacrifice them. So even if you just hit 1 Cat-Gator, say on 6 mana, and something else, there will pretty much always be something else. This very reliably helps you recoup enough life to continue to play out your strategy once you get into the late game. And we have some late game bombs here. Being in this really big mana strategy, the key is to survive the early game. So we're packed full of removal, 4 Caustic Exhale, 4 Virtue of Persistence, 3 Bitter Triumph, and once again 3 Push Pull, and 4 Disruptive Stormbrood. Basically, if we run into it like a creature deck, the idea is we just kill everything on sight, land a Duskmourn's Claim or Parker Luck, and eventually just grind out the game. We don't have a whole lot of card advantage outside of our Overlord of the Baelmerk and Parker Luck, but as long as we're hitting our land drops, that's why we're including this Nurturing Bristleback here. As long as we're hitting our land drops, we have these big, powerful late game plays that often end the game or put the game out of reach for our opponent. Specifically Cat-Gator. So how are we making Cat-Gator work? Well, Nurturing Bristleback is a key component here. Helps us find green, right? We can Forest Cycle it for 2. We can bring it back to our hand with Overlord of the Baelmerk to form this foundation of consistent like mana generation, essentially, helping us hit our land drops every turn. And as far as our lands go, we're only on 3 non-swamps. 1 forest, 2 Restless Cottage. Otherwise, it's 15 swamps and 4 underground mortuaries. Underground mortuaries are also interesting because they surveil, right? Which help you set up your Duskmourn's Claims. And that's pretty much the idea. Survive early game, land one of our Duskmourn's Claim. If not, stave off the aggression early enough to where we can just start burning our opponent out with Cat-Gator, or clearing the way for our attackers with Cat-Gator, so on and so forth. As for the sideboard, we're on 4 Caustic Bronco. This is a good card to bring in most games because our opponents are going to see that we're not really on small creatures, so they're pretty likely to remove their removal. At least they're like torches or firebending lessons, so on and so forth. So this actually gives us a pretty good free reign to get in with the Bronco. Now it is risky. We can pretty easily kill ourselves swinging in with an unsaddled Bronco, but if we do manage to saddle it with one of our dragons or an overlord or so on and so forth, this gives us another Parker Luck sort of effect where we can just burn our opponent with the top of our library. A couple Soul Guide Lanterns, 2 Rise of Sozin. Big expensive board wipe. Really good against like creature decks that also have a bit of a combo spin to them. Help us maybe like get all of the Ouroboros out of an opponent's deck. Really hamper their strategy. A couple Unholy Annex. Sorry, just one. Just an extra card advantage piece for control. And 4 Cease Desist. Once again, huge mana value. 8 here. Graveyard Hate. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Pretty relevant in the current meta. And a couple Day of Black Sun to clean up the various like go wide decks that are out there. That's basically it. Now, before I get into games, I just want to address a comment, or some comments that I've seen going around on my videos, mentioning that like basically this tension between wanting to present an authentic product and recording and showing off a video where the deck just doesn't do what it's like, what I'm trying to get it to do, right? Essentially videos where I go and I lose 4 games or 4 matches and win 1 match, right? That sort of idea. My philosophy as far as this channel goes and the sort of content I'm trying to make is that I just want to show off ideas, right? And if they don't work, that's okay. I think it's better to show when an idea I'm having is not functioning, right? And we can go back and iterate and fix it for a future video. And even good ideas don't work 100% of the time, and even bad ideas sometimes work, right? So this idea of like, why don't you just show your wins? I think it does make for good content because it's exciting to watch someone win, but at the same time, we're not really learning anything, I think. And I think as far as longevity goes, I just want to make videos that help me explore ideas I'm having. So there's my side piece there, side conversation. Let's go ahead and move into some games. All right, jumping into match 1. Black-green Parker Luck. Black-green Lucky Cat. Black-green, I don't know. It's mostly a Parker Luck deck. This is a pretty good hand. I like that it has the early Parker Luck. Pretty important for us to just kind of win out of nowhere on game 1. Looks like our opponent's on some sort of Enchantress strategy. Gotta be mindful of their flash pieces. Okay, I think I'm just going to take this opportunity to push-pull the Scavenger. Keep that from popping off like crazy. And then if we draw a dragon, we can maybe hit the Wonderweave Aerialist. I could jam Parker Luck here, but it kind of opens up getting hit by like a Sheltered by Ghosts. I think I'd rather play an Underground Mortuary here and then be able to like Bitter Triumph. We'll take a Swamp. We pretty much just need to hit our land drops. Open up a Bitter Triumph on the Wonderweave Aerialist and being able to pay for the ward. They don't have a super fast clock right now. There's a Rest in Peace. Not bad. Not like supremely good against our deck. It does shut off our Overlord of the Bale Mercs. Interesting to see it main deck. Pretty likely that our opponent has Shard Mage's Rescue, the Hexproof Aura. Do you play around it? Do you not play around it? in this position. They could just be, they could not have it, right? I'll just pass. A most helpful weaver. Okay. See if they tap out. Ethereal armor. Well, I'm gonna go for it. They're gonna hit me for a lot either way. You know what I mean? Let's make them have it. Let's discard this caustic exhale, perhaps. I don't know that it's doing a whole lot for us right now. Pay for the ward. See if they have Shard Mage's Rescue. They have it. Okay. Now pretty much our only chance is drawing... Oh no, we're dead. Okay. There wasn't a whole lot we could do with that curve out. We have pretty good sideboard cards here. Namely our like cease and desists. And I think Caustic Bronco's pretty good here. They're unlikely to remove it. Let's go up the board wipes, up the board wipes. And let's cut back on some of our graveyard stuff if they're running this like main deck. Rest in peace. Cut a couple overlords. I think I like the Disruptive Stormbroods. I like the Scavenger Regents. Caustic Exhale is good enough for the most part. It's a little tough when the creatures get far too large. But we could probably go down a couple Virtue of Persistence. Maybe cut a couple Duskmourn's Claim. We only really need one to probably close out the game. Stormbrood seems really important. Go down another Cat-Gator. Go down a Nurturing Bristleback. We are on 22 lands, interestingly enough. But I'm kind of counting the cycle from the Nurturing Bristleback as a land. And why the Bristleback? Why not like stay purely in mono black? I think the Disruptive Stormbrood is a pretty good reason to splash green. It answers a lot of problems black otherwise can't solve on the board. And kind of makes our whole dragon package pretty cohesive. And out of all of the land cyclers, the Bristleback is just the best one, basically. It's got like the most relevant body when you actually cast it. And it makes a 3/3 token. Gonna keep this on the merit of Day of Black Sun. And it works really nicely. We'll just keep a land on top. It works nicely with the push pulls. Like you can swing in with your hasty guy and leave back a 3/3 to block the next turn, you know? Which is often just enough. One other thing on the topic of like, I suppose, serious decks and, you know, criticism about win-loss ratio. Obviously every idea I play is not going to work, right? And the lines are a little unclear between what is a serious deck and what is a meme deck, you know? Is Duskmourn's Claim just a meme? I don't know. That's why I'm testing it, right? So I don't know whether I'm going to have a great run going into this or not, but I think it's interesting to explore that and see how it plays out, right? And being open to the idea that this could be bad. I'm not going to bring a huge pile of garbage to any of these videos. I have it at the very least tested every deck I've played beforehand and gotten some wins clearly. But at the same time, you know, when you bring it to the stream, or the video, it just doesn't always work out like you want. I think we have to kill this Spellbook Fender while they're tapped out. I would love to be able to like hit another land drop in Day of Black Sun for 2. That'd be the cleanest answer, but just for the sake of staying alive here and getting ahead of this Ethereal Armor, I think we just need to double Caustic Exhale. chunk our opponent a little more, draw some removal. Honestly, wouldn't mind hitting a land off of a Duskmourn's Claim. Pretty important that we get to 4 mana on this next turn. Day of Black Sun at least looks pretty good against these spiders. Looks really good against these spiders, at the very least. Okay. I like this. So we can Day of Black Sun for 0 and hold up a Bitter Triumph. Could be kind of tough for them. Could be kind of tough for them. Duskmourn's Claim. Chunk them for 5. Draw into Stormbrood. Huge. We take a measly 1 off of their Restoration Magic. It's beautiful. It's working. It's the best deck that's ever been made. it's competitively viable. It's gonna win the next World Tour or whatever, Pro Tour. Gonna win the next Pro Tour. Speaking of, as far as my tenure as a Magic player, if you're curious, I'm mostly just an F&M guy. You know, I just show up, I play F&M. I do pretty well at F&M, and you know, there's some relatively serious players there. But to me, Magic is not purely about being competitive. It's a canvas on which you can explore, you know, interesting. It's like a creative outlet, right? See what works, test some stuff. However, I've gotten a little more serious about Magic generally in the last year or so, and I am interested in going to some bigger tournaments. So, you know, partially I'll use this channel as a place to talk about those experiences. Just gonna kill the spider. Seems pretty good when we have a 3rd land drop, Duskmourn's Claim. I'll use this channel as a place to talk about those experiences. Like, you know, I've played in some big tournaments in the past, but it's been a long time. And getting back into the swing of things, like going to RCQs and qualifying and going to RCs and seeing how that goes. So with the Day of Black Sun in hand, and an extra swamp to back it up next turn, pretty happy with just jamming the Duskmourn's Claim here. I like that we have a big board wipe on 6, a little board wipe on 4, chunk them for 8 with our Cease Desist. We get hit for 1 off Veteran Survivor, cute. And we can guarantee find another land off this Bristleback. So all of that is to say, no, I don't have the tenure of, like, obviously, Seth Manfield or someone like that, right? But that's not really what this channel is about. Just here showing off ideas. You know, I'm just a normal freaking guy, just showing off some ideas and seeing what works and what doesn't. Definitely just gonna go for Day of Black Sun here. Absolutely ranches them. Absolutely ranches them. They can't even give it indestructible, like if they have Restoration Magic here. So, bye. Come on, Duskmourn's Claim. Cease Desist. Cease Desist. Oh, Swamp is good too, though. Swamp is good too. We really can't lose. Either we hit something big or we hit a land. Optimistic Scavenger. Probably holding up Restoration Magic still. Wouldn't mind some single target removal here. There's a Sheltered by Ghosts on my Duskmourn's Claim. A bit of a problem. Another Swamp. That's not bad. So we know they have a Restoration Magic. And we know they're going to be giving their Optimistic Scavenger double strike next turn. I don't have removal, per se, but I could just play out an Overlord and block, and they might be forced to give Indestructible in that situation, and then I can follow up with the Rise of Sozin to clear the board. Just play a big body here. Maybe hit a Cat-Gator to help recoup some life after all is said and done. There's a Cat-Gator. Disruptive Stormbrood is pretty appealing, but I don't have green quite yet. I can get a forest off of the Bristleback for next turn. I think I like the flexibility of the Stormbrood over the Cat-Gator. I'm pretty likely to play the Rise of Sozin next turn, but the turn after that, I think being able to like find my forest and then Bayflight flying. Hey! Wow, that's really good for them. Huge draw. Huge draw. What do we need? There's the Veteran Survivor. Presumably Restoration Magic in hand here. Getting hit for 10. Okay. Could use another day of Black Sun. Well, if we firmly believe that they have Restoration Magic, which seems quite likely, we've seen it once, then the Rise of Sozin doesn't... If I play the Rise of Sozin, I lose. So my options here are either I make them have it, cast Rise of Sozin, or I cast Cease and try to draw into Day of Black Sun, which almost certainly wins me the game. I could also draw... I don't think there's anything else I could draw in that case. So, I think I'm just not going to play around Restoration Magic. I'm just going to make them have it. I'm fairly certain they do, but if they don't, then we're looking pretty good. Oh, there's a Scavenger Regent. Okay, that's actually just way better. That's actually just way better. So if they have Restoration Magic, this is, it's not enough here. Huge hit. That's why Overlord of the Belmark is so important here. Helps grab these like removal pieces. Just gonna go X's 4. I don't think there's anything that they could have. I guess they could have like... Okay. It was Restoration Magic. I was gonna say it could be Shard Mage's Rescue, but I don't think so. It was Restoration Magic. Huge win. Huge win. Match 1 in the books. 1-0. Parker Luck. Showing off the flexibility of this kind of build too. It's like, you know, obviously everything has a high mana value, but they all serve sort of dual purposes, modal spells, so on and so forth. And also the fact that like Overlord of the Belmark is just so sick in this deck, finding, you know, creatures, obviously like the Golgari Dragons list, but also finds our removal and board wipes in that scenario, right? Pretty good hand. I like that it has good interaction and this solid plan here with the Bristleback and Overlord to hit our land drops. Last game was not really a Cat-Gator game. Perhaps this one will be. There's a forest. There's a push-pull. Well, I think I'd rather save the Caustic Exhale to kill a... Yeah, we'll take a forest here. To kill an Ouroboros. And, like, Scavenger Regent can clean up boards like this pretty decently. afterward. Makes sense to me to hold. Okay, it looks like they are doing some kind of more flexible Golgari version. Pretty cool. They're out of the gates. Let's just go ahead and hold up this Caustic Exhale. Set a stop. They're gonna jam. They always jam. Yep. There's the Boyd. The Boyd itself. There's Gene. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm not gonna behold a dragon. I don't have to. Just pay the 2. Let's not show them the Regent quite yet. So we're in a pretty good position now. If they don't have a follow-up or a Boroid, we're looking pretty solid, I think. Another Caustic Exhale. That's actually really good. So now we can play a Forest, plan to just cycle the Bristleback, I think, and then hold up the other Caustic Exhale. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It sets us back, like it slows us down a turn on the Scavenger Regent play, but it's a lot safer if they have a second Ouroboros, which these decks always just happen to have the second Ouroboros, and I happen to have the second piece of removal. So this time we'll behold a dragon. They know about my Scavenger Regent now. Get ranched, I guess. I don't feel bad at all. I don't feel bad at all. Feel really good, in fact. They'll come in and hit me. Would love to draw just like a natural swamp here. Wipe their board. Take away some of their power of a future Ouroboros. Only one basic forest, so we can't get an untapped land here, unfortunately. Okay, not the end of the world. Just go ahead and play our Mortuary. We'll skip on this push-pull. We don't need more than one, really. I think let's just plan to cycle the Bristleback again, continue to guarantee our land drops. Hopefully they miss on an Ouroboros here. It'd be so crazy if they just happen to draw another Ouroboros. Crossing our fingers that they just hit a land. They know what's coming. We can also push-pull stuff in their graveyard, which could be kind of relevant at some point. Just something to keep in mind. There's a Virtue of Persistence. Pretty good in this matchup. Go ahead and wipe this board. Skip out on the second one. They have an Overlord of the Bale Merc coming here pretty soon. We can... Okay, their Dredger's Insighting. Interesting. Oh. Disruptive Stormbrood in their graveyard means we can pull from their graveyard if we draw another land and kill off their Overlord. That's pretty big game. So ideally we hit a land. I'm going to assume they're on like Insidious Roots as well. Our own Disruptive Stormbroods should line up pretty nicely here. Ouroboros in hand. Not an untapped land. Well, I suppose we play... an Overlord of our own then. Maybe we can just get a couple Cat-Gators in our graveyard. Make sure we cast it fully here. There's a Cat-Gator. We'll take the Nurturing Bristleback. Wouldn't mind like a Bitter Triumph to set up the second Cat-Gator. Currently dealing 4 damage on entry. With lifelink, of course. Shocking themselves. Gonna play the Ouroboros and put a counter on it with the Rumblebelt Maverick. Present a pretty big Bale Merc here. The thing about push pull too, it has to be from the same graveyard. So either I get like Disruptive Stormbrood plus Ouroboros for an attack, or go for my cat / bristlebacks. See what they go for here. I might have to chump block, depending on what kind of board they set up. I don't know why they're taking their time. They probably don't have too many options. I guess they could be thinking about swinging in with the Overlord and then playing a Disruptive Stormbrood. Okay, here's a second Stormbrood. Interesting. So now, probably the best answer is actually just pushing the Overlord, virtuing the second, virtuing the dragon, and then finding our last land to just hardcast a Gator, kill an Ouroboros. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, we're at 7 mana now. Could just, like, hardcast a Gator, kill off their Overlord. The Scavenging Ooze complicates push-pull, and they know I'm playing it. I think it probably makes sense to just kill these guys. Cycle the Bristleback now. So we can play a tapped land and then double spell if we draw another. Okay, there's our last Mortuary. Good to know. We'll skip out on this swamp. Another Overlord being impended. But they may have trouble with the Virtue in the long term if we manage to find an answer for the Scavenging Ooze. We're not looking too bad, to be honest. There's an Insidious Roots. Okay. So they're going to go wide here, but we can just kill the Scavenging Ooze with the Cat-Gator in this window. I think that's pretty good. Keeps them from going too crazy. Gain 6 life. Pretty relevant. And then we should be able to survive some turns through an Ouroboros resolving. Put some more Cat-Gators in our graveyard for like infinite big chumps and life swings. Wouldn't mind drawing another piece of action here. Hopefully we can dodge more Scoozes. 2 in their graveyard. Okay, Ouroboros huge, making a huge board. Gonna be a problem. Might just be dead next turn if we don't draw something. Swinging with the swinging with the plant. We have 1 push-pull left in the deck, which would be a huge draw if we block. It's still pretty good if we don't. I kind of think we need to not block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't block. Draw removal for Ouroboros. Play the Virtue. Block the following turn. Yeah, it's kind of tough here, but I don't think we block here. There's another Cat-Gator, which is almost removal for Ouroboros. Interestingly enough. These non-swamps are kind of getting us a little. Dang, I can't believe we're 1 swamp off. I can't believe it's 1 swamp off, dude. I guess here, I guess I swing with the Cat-Gator, maybe make them think I have a board wipe. If they decide to block, they don't block. Play another one. For 7. Just off of killing their Ouroboros here. I guess we kill a plant. Wow. I can't believe it's going to come down to that. There's a Llanowar Elves. Huge board here. Kind of tough to deal with this. Definitely going to bring in those Rise of Sozins. Setting up for a kind of a push-pull draw with this block here. In my original version of the deck, I had some Coiling Rebirth, I believe it's called. Like a 5-mana gift card reanimator spell where you get 2 copies of the card. I just found it like not flexible enough and just clunky. You know, requires too much setup compared to push-pull, but would be pretty good in this scenario. Let's go ahead and die. I guess I can. Yeah, I'm dead here. Like even if I kill the Overlord with the Stormbrood, they just have too many big guys at this point. We put up a good fight though. We put up a good fight. I think that lasted a little longer than I expected. They saw 3 Ouroboros over the course of the game. Bring in the Day of Black Sun. Bring in the Rise of Sozin. And I think I mentioned this, but I think you kind of almost always bring in the Caustic Broncos. It's not maybe the best in this matchup. I'll go down to 2, but pretty unexpected. I guess they're on like Disruptive Stormbroods in the main, and they're probably not going to board them out. So maybe we skip the Broncos here. Keep all of our removal. Go down a Cat-Gator. Go down an Overlord. Go down a couple Duskmourn's Claims, perhaps. They have pretty big stuff too. Could just kill us. We're not too reliant on it. I think we win or die by our board wipes here. Interesting matchup. Tough stuff. Probably should have brought in maybe Cease Desist. Didn't really think about that. Kind of glossed over it. Hits all of their Insidious Roots and their Overlords and stuff. Probably could have brought in a couple. Overlord is pretty tough for black to deal with generally. There are some board wipes, but compared to like the 4 mana of Day of Judgment, all of the board wipes in black that hit Ouroboros consistently, we'll say, are 5 mana, which is sometimes just a turn too slow, you know? Sometimes it's just a turn too slow. This is a decent hand. It's a little slow. I like that we can guarantee hitting our land drops here. We have a push-pull. Could be flexible. Maybe kill an elf on turn 2 or turn 3. Definitely slow. Gonna require some help from our opponent here. Okay. No Dork on turn 1. Pretend we have some removal, perhaps. There's a Roots. Not the fastest start. Cycle the Bristleback. Go for the Mortuary. Another Bristleback. Disruptive Stormbrood is a pretty important draw here. Gonna skip cycling this one so we can draw our Stormbrood. Another Roots. Could use the Cease Desist. Maybe this is just too slow now. Let's go ahead and cycle the Bristleback. I think we now kind of have to just ignore these. Let's get our Scavenger Regent in play. Start hitting them. Maybe eventually Cat-Gator will become enough of a threat to just burn them out. We might be able to like get 4 chunks or 3 or 4 chunks in with the Scavenger Regent before they can do anything about it. Dredger's Insight. Going to be gaining some life here. Making a pretty big board. Day of Black Sun would be a huge draw for us. Our poll does not look that bad right now, although could be better. Overlord. We'll see if they put any juicy targets for us to pull here. Might grab a Scrap Shooter for blocks. Yeah, gonna be kind of tough to beat this, I think. Need like a Day of Black Sun exactly right now. Play a Mortuary. Overlord of the Balemerc. So we go swing, Overlord of the Balemerc, put 2 Cat-Gators in our graveyard, push pull, hit them for, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure that the Overlord is it. Go ahead and swing. Pass. Pretty much just need to draw one of our board wipes to stabilize here. I think that's all we can do. Swing it in. We can also maybe just push pull a couple bristlebacks. Not sure why they're deploying like this. I guess they must not have a way to pull anything out of their graveyard right now. Push pull a couple bristlebacks. Get some chumpers on the field. Grab this mortuary, I suppose. Maybe should have grabbed the forest. There's a scavenger region. We can currently do it for 4, which is actually probably the best play we've got. Swing in again. Scavenger region for 4, swing. Hope we draw another swamp. Cat-Gator. Or what happens if we push pull here? Grab the Overlord, grab the bristleback, get 2 triggers off the Overlord. Kind of want to get this mortuary out of my hand. Yeah, I'm just going to have to like pray at this point, I think. Scavenger region for 4. This doesn't kill my own regent, fortunately. Clears out their board. Kind of makes the like chump blocking plan a little more viable next turn. Maybe they don't get anything out on the field from their graveyard. Seems unlikely. Just plays a scrap shooter. Do they not have a way to trigger their roots? That'd be huge for us. Land? Another scrap shooter. Yo. Bitter Triumph. Okay. Well, now the push-pull chump blocking plan looks pretty good. Right? 2 bristlebacks. Probably not a whole lot they can do about this. And then we set up for a Cat-Gator next turn, hold back all of our blockers. We might win this one. They don't have any way to trigger their roots. They're all dressed up with nowhere to go. There's kind of a chance here. Okay. Okay. Disruptive Storm Brood. Pass on that for now. We have chumpers. Get in for a free 10 damage. Cat-Gator. 7 damage to your face. Or Boroid, doesn't matter. Does not matter. And maybe they're even thinking now, can I even swing out? Does he have another push-pull? I mean, I do. But they could have a cease desist. I think I'd rather go for like just a nice clean Cat-Gator win. Just a nice clean Cat-Gator win. Serendipity. Whee! Oh, just like we drew it up. Just like we drew it up. On the draw. Bring in some cease desist. I don't think I want all four, but bring in some cease desist. I'd be pretty surprised if we win this next one, but anything is possible. Go down a push pull. They're going to expect it now. Maybe just go down to one push pull. It looked good, but on the draw, we just need to rely on our board wipes, I think. Keep a hand that's chock full of removal, ideally. I mean, if we had another land, I think I'd keep this. Yep. We can skip on the cease desist for now. I think it's more of like a late game play. Wouldn't mind a dragon. Okay. Swamp's not bad. I'll take another Caustic Exhale, sure. And maybe I should have skipped on it. Gone for like a land drop. I just like that this can kill the Ouroboros. Badgermole Cub. Yeah, maybe should have gone for like land drops or Scavenger Regent or Day of Black Sun, you know. Skipped on this Exhale. That might be a bit of a problem. Because with this Badgermole like plan they've already deployed, this is quite a lot of damage per turn for me to just have these like 2 mana removal pieces. Yeah, I'm kind of regretting leaving this on top now. I think kind of the only way I can maybe win through this is if... Let's see what they surveil. Okay, so they have another land drop. So I'm not going to kill the Badgermole Cub. I need to hold up removal here. And if they don't deploy the Boyd in combat, or before combat, I can just like kill off the Cub. There's the Boyd. We do have the removal. Do they have an overprotect? That would be so nasty right now. I hate it when they have the overprotect. Float double green. They have another Badgermole Cub. Dredger's Insight. Okay. See what they hit here. Bailmerk. Pretty good. Pretty good for them. Would not mind a Day of Black Sun at all here. Forest is not awful. I think I'm going to kill the Badgermole Cub right now so that they can't hardcast Overlord of the Bailmerk. Keeps their pressure down a little bit. Makes them have to draw a land to be able to hardcast the Overlord. Building up to this Rise of Sozin's pretty huge. Not sure what we would name with this necessarily. Maybe like... Maybe just name Ouroboros because it's like the best way they have to close out the game. Grab Shooter. Yeah, they're probably going to grab the Ouroboros. Maybe name Insidious Roots because we can deal with just normal ass creatures for the most part. Land is not bad. We'll just go ahead and play the land. There's a push pull. The one we have, don't think I care for it right now. Let's go ahead and just give up on that one. Continue to hold up our removal. Still taking a decent chunk per turn. They're going to have to use some of their attackers to try to play this Ouroboros. So it's actually not so bad. There's the Boyd. You can bet your sweet ass that we have removal. And I relish in your tears. Not sure that we're going to win, but the Rise of Sozin here looks really good over the course of the next couple turns. There's a disruptive Stormbrood. Wow. I think I'm just gonna play it and like hit the. Although if they have fourth or third Ouroboros, I guess if they have third Ouroboros, I have the Rise of Sozin. I'm just gonna kill off their Overlord here, so I don't have to worry about it post board wipe. Hope we just draw a swamp and guarantee that we can wipe the board. Plus, this blocks all their little dinguses. No way you have third Ouroboros natural in the top 20. You have another Overlord. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Still, just want to draw a land here. Play the Rise of Sozin, and then we can remove whatever they end up taking here. We can like force them to play it, remove it. And then I think this card just kind of wins the game if they don't have an answer for it. I've never had the other side. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, pay X, put any number of target creature cards with total mana value. Total mana value X or less from their graveyard. Jeez Louise. A lot of words. Seems good. Seems good. Just go ahead and block. Okay. Well, maybe it'll work out fine if we delay a turn here anyway. Pass. I'm kind of thinking we decide to kill the Overlord here rather than the Ouroboros before it triggers. Because if they play the Ouroboros, they probably don't have something left in their hand. And then we take a decent attack, but we follow it up with... No, we don't even take that big of an attack. Because of the way they have to tap like some of their creatures here to be able to use Rubble Belt Maverick. Okay, there's an Insidious Roots. What do they decide to go for here? Kind of good to know what they have. They play the Ouroboros. Huge for us. So now we get to kill the Overlord. Keep them from triggering the Roots here. Wipe the board. Kind of shut their whole shit down. Take away any targets for their Rubble Belt Mavericks. Very, very threatening. Card right now. Huge, huge. We'll see how this plays out. Swing at him for 3. Wipe the board. Hopefully they don't see any creatures here. We just need to dodge like one turn, basically. Ugh. Not ideal. We're still kind of in a good position if we like manage to hit a scavenger region off of this Overlord. I think. That's maybe not enough. Okay, pretty decent board for them. Now what do we name? Maybe just like Overlord of the Bailmerk. Probably their best draw by a lot. Scavenging Ooze. Let's just name Overlord of the Bailmerk, I think. See what they have left. A couple roots, a couple insights. Not a whole lot of action, to be honest with you. They're pretty reliant on hitting big. Oh, trigger their roots. Completely forgot about that. It might not be a huge deal in the end here. We have a blocker. Draw into a Stormbrood. I'm going to just kill off one of their plants here. I think our main goal here is just to flip the Rise of Sozin and like build a huge board out of their graveyard. There's a Badgermole Cub. And then next turn we can swing with the Overlord. Get the Storm Brood back. Kill off there. Okay, they're swinging in. Go ahead and take the least amount of damage here, I think. There's a Virtue of Persistence. So we can Virtue and... Okay, we should be in a pretty commanding position now. We can Virtue the Cub. Gain a little life back. Get our Storm Brood back. Blow up their Insidious Roots and pretty much take them out of the game. Wow. Powerful stuff, gang. Powerful stuff. Look at these big plays. Endless value. Blow up your roots. Pretty much take you out of the game here. Even if you draw an Ouroboros, we just get to take your Ouroboros. Dredger's Insight. Not going to be enough. They can't access mana off of the plants anymore. Wow. Sweet match. Wow. Rise of Sozin. Kind of sweet with it. Yeah, baby. I guess they can block, but like if they block, then they're super dead also, you know? It's lose-lose. And let's not get too ahead of ourselves, I suppose. Let's be thoughtful about this. Gaining some life. Because I still have to hit them. That's the important thing. So this has Menace, but I do have to hit them. I get a little more action off the Baelmerk. I can grab like a Cat-Gator just to restabilize. Wouldn't mind hitting Scavenger Regent. Scavenger Regent to just kind of put the whole thing away. There's a Cub. They're reading Firelord Sozin. Oh, what an all-star in this match. Wow. Wow. Did they take all their Disruptive Storm Broods out, by the way? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, there's a Scavenger Regent. Why, that ought to just win the game. So I can Scavenger Regent for 3. And I think they're just going to scoop it up. Whee! Grab stuff out of your graveyard? Firebend 3? Let's grab another Scavenger Regent here. Hit you with Firelord Sozin. Trigger the ability. Pay 5. I think I want like 2 Scavenging Oozes and a Gene Pollinator maybe. They gain a little life here. You literally can't do anything about this. You literally can't do anything about this. Good games, good games. Fun match. 2-0. Wow, what a run. What a run so far. Really showing off the power, I think, of Overlord of the Baelmerk. The Overlord plus Dragons package. Really strong. We saw it at Worlds. I think, oh, who was it that piloted it? That one guy. Anyway, 2-0. Sweet deck. Hopefully we can keep the streak alive. I'd love to see. It would be so insane. It would be like exactly what I'm talking about at the start of the video here. Be so insane to get a clean sweep 5-0 with this deck, which played decently in testing, but wasn't fantastic. But I wanted to show off the ideas, right? But still, it goes back to that idea of like, you never know what's going to happen when you sit down to record the video, right? To show off the deck, so it really could just go either way. I think it's a little disingenuous to just show wins, right? I think putting it through the real ringer, best of 3, ranked, making sure we're playing against other real decks, you know. It's really kind of the only honest way to show off ideas. I'm going to take this Caustic Exhale. I like that I can answer a Grandma next turn if they have one, and then play this tapped Restless Cottage as well to set up for Duskmourn's Claim turn 3 or Scavenger Regent, what have you. The exude toxin side of things. Accumulate Wisdom, raw. Okay. Raw Accumulate Wisdom. Digging. Swinging for 1. No blocks. 3 mana. Pass it to me. Wouldn't mind just hitting a land drop here. They probably have a Quench. I guess they could have like Abandon attachments. I'm just going to send it with the Duskmourn's Claim. See if they have a Quench. Pretty good if it resolves, I think. Helps us hit our land drops. The extra card advantage for them is relatively meaningless because they're casting Ancestral Recalls anyway. You know what I mean? And once this sticks, there's not a whole lot they can do other than Boomerang Basics it. So maybe it'll just win the game for us if we're lucky. Well, there's a Swamp. That's a good start. Second, Accumulate Wisdom. Natty. Rough start for our opponent. Seems a bit wasteful. Think of the potential. Ral, Crackling Wit. We don't have great answers for Planeswalkers. Fortunately, they're probably just going to roll it up, and we can reset the board here. We have a couple Bitter Triumphs, I suppose. Yeah, let's just make sure we're not dying to these otters. Scavenger Regent for 1 here. Grab another land. Not so bad. We kind of win either way, right? Because, like, if we hit a land, that's good. We need to hit our land drops, right? But if we hit a non-land, we kind of start killing them a little bit, which is fun. We're decently set up for next turn. We can double spell. Wouldn't mind getting a couple Cat-Gators in our graveyard. I think Bitter Triumph right now is probably our best draw. We can, like, discard a Cat-Gator, set up for push-pull. There's another Otter. Might just exhale this Otter end of turn. We'll see what they end up doing here. Shocking themselves. Planisphere. Resolves. Boomerang Basics. Okay, they're setting up a big board here, but let's go for an exhale on this Otter. This is a little speculative. I'm not sure that it's going to do a whole lot otherwise. And maybe it's best to hit the hero right now, actually. It's probably better to hit the hero, but that's okay. Just going to go for this. Yeah, should have hit the hero. 5 mana. Holding something back. Getting close to Ral Ultimate. Probably holding back like an Abandon Attachments. Or an Accumulate Wisdom here. How do we set up for this push-pull? Probably by casting this Overlord. Let's impend this Overlord here. Maybe we can get a Sneaky Gator into our graveyard. And then I think we just Petty Revenge the hero here. Okay, I like the Regent. I like the double Bristleback for push-pull. Go for this. If they quench this, it's not the end of the world. Gotta maximize our mana. We're drawing a lot of cards. Just gotta use it. Gotta use them. Accumulate Wisdom. Kind of assumed that would happen. Well, they're definitely going to ultimate Ral. But do they have, like, Burn? You know, is that going to matter? They already have cards. They have as many cards as they could ever want. Do we want this swamp? I don't... We don't want to Duskmourn's Claim the swamp, I suppose. Let's try to hit him for some damage. Okay, well, there's another swamp. That's okay, because now we're getting closer to our Cat-Gators, you know? And they've kind of shown me that they don't have Quench right now. I think they would play it if they did. Here's a chance for them to draw infinite cards, but it's like kind of already meaningless against a deck like ours, right? We're not trying to win via card advantage. We're trying to do some busted big game sort of things, you know? Use all of our resources that we've got and cast these big nasty threats that are pretty hard to interact with. We've also got Scavenger Regent to sort of reset things again, which they know about. Got the push-pull play. Not bad. 4 Accumulate Wisdoms in their graveyard officially. Ral is officially ulted, so they have a Storm Emblem. And they're not doing anything with it. Could have a Quench in hand by now. Probably just going to try to Scavenger Regent for 2. Ooh. Duskmourn's Claim. I guess I have to Scavenger Regent for like 3 in case they have an abandoned attachments. It's probably just the cleanest answer. They won't be able to double spell. Probably just the cleanest answer. It seems unlikely that if they have Quench, I guess they Quench. No, I have to do this for... Might as well just do this for 4. No, we'll do it for 3. Pretend I have something else. They could Quench this. But if they don't... Looks pretty good for us, I think. There's abandoned attachments. Okay. We're looking pretty good. See, the way this is built, like, having this Storm online, it's not like they have a Burst Lightning that they could eventually just get me with, right? All of their damaging spells just targets creatures. So, we're fine. We can continue to wipe the board. Oh! I should have paid the extra 1. I forgot. We were just talking about this the other day at F&M. I forgot about this clause. Whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on creature. That's gonna be a problem. That was a dumb goof. I totally could have won this game, dude. It might just kill me here. What a silly mistake. Well, that's life. They might not be able to kill me still. Another Planisphere. Opt. This otter is getting out of control. I absolutely threw. Wow, I can't believe I forgot about that clause. We were just talking about it the other day. It's so unnecessary to include. You don't even really take it into the calculation. Well, that's gonna be me. Damn. I can't believe I flubbed that one. Well, we still have games 2 and 3. We still have games 2 and 3. That'll do it. Frostcliff Siege. I guess I was dead anyway. I was dead through all of this anyway. Okay. That makes me feel a little better. Bring in the graveyard hate. I kind of like the Day of Black Suns here. Do we want the Caustic Broncos? Yeah, I think so. They're probably going to cut all of their interaction. It leaves us in a weird place. Maybe we just want like 2 Caustic Broncos. We want all of the Duskmourn Claim. I contend that it's a pretty good card in this matchup. Go down the push poles, maybe. Not really the axis on which we need to win. Go down a couple caustic exhales, just a little slow. I'm not slow, just a little like, you know, hitting an otter. They're good for killing Granny, but kind of inflexible, I suppose. Whereas Bitter Triumph and like the scavenger regions just do a better job at answering everything. Cut an Overlord, cut a Cat-Gator, cut a Virtue. Just kind of cut back on some of these big hits. I like the Storm Brood here. Maybe we just need one Soul Guide Lantern. And we'll go down to 3 claims. Alright, like that. I don't know. Match 3. Game 2. Good to know I didn't completely flub it. They had it anyway. We'll keep this. I like the early Bronco here. A little dangerous. Living on the edge a little bit. Pretty likely to survive. I'd be surprised if they kept much small interaction in their deck. Probably brought in like Disdainful Strokes. Bell Pierce maybe? I don't know. Play a Bronco. See if they have anything for it. They could just answer it. Who knows? Maybe they didn't think too much in the sideboard. Iroh's Demonstration. Fair enough. I like that we have this Cease Desist to clean up their graveyard. Can't really let Grandma do her thing. I think I have to save the Bitter Triumph for a Ral. Maybe the Cease Desist is enough for now. Yeah, I'm just going to Day of Black Sun for 1. It's a pretty good piece, but we just need to slow down their card selection, I think. We all know how out of control Granny gets. There's the Planisphere. I'm less scared of that. Overlord of the Bailmerk is a great draw. Okay, I like hitting the Bristleback here. I think that's a little more important than the Bronco. There's a Ral. Good thing we kept the Bitter Triumph. Hopefully they just make an Otter, I suppose. Opponent is in the tank. They don't even activate the Ral? What the fuck? Why? That was silly. Hey, taste this. Oh, that was a choice. That was a choice. That was really weird. Why wouldn't they activate it? They don't have any other mana. In what world do you not activate it? We all make mistakes. Boomerang basics. Gran. Gran's online. Combustion Technique. Pretty good. Okay. Duskmourn's Claim. Suppose we go ahead and fire off this Cease here. Eat up some of their graveyard. Gain a little life. Turn off Gran. Another Cease. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and Forest Cycle this then. We'll grab a real Forest and then cast this other Cease. Keep them off of Gran for real. Okay, I don't mind hitting a land here. We do have to deal with this 5/5. Planisphere. Frostcliff Siege. Yuck. Nasty stuff, man. Nasty stuff. Okay, well. Let's see if this is enough. Hopefully they don't just have an otter or something. Gotta dodge for like one turn. Would not mind a Cat-Gator top deck. There's the Planisphere. Well, how she goes sometimes. Put up a good fight, I thought. Put up a good fight, I thought. Not so bad. 2-1. 2-1. Head into match number 4. Fun deck. Fun deck. A lot. Really, really super grindy, and you have to be, you know, to be able to reasonably put like 7 drops in your deck, you know what I mean? Unless you're hard combo, but because of the way Cat-Gator is worded, we're really incentivized to play more of like a slow, controlling sort of style. Hit our land drops and maximize the effect. This is a pretty solid hand. Another Virtue. Let's skip on that one. Llanowar Elves. Let's just Virtue this. Makes sense to me. Simic. Jean. Hello, Jean. They're not going to have a way to be able to cast an Ouroboros next turn. So I think we can pretty freely drop this Baelmerk. Happy to hit a Stormbrood. And then we can hold up a Bitter Triumph for an Ouroboros next turn. Probably just drop another Baelmerk. Would not mind a Regent. Scavenger Regent would go pretty hard right now. Bristleback. Let's go digging, see if we can hit a Scavenger Regent. There's a Scavenger Regent, huge. Now we can hold up the Bitter Triumph. They're going to get some counters anyway, but I don't think they can make anything big enough through the Scavenger Regent here. Pretty important. There's the Ouroboros. They always have it. Shouldn't be surprised at this point. Kill off your boy. Your Boyd. I guess if I had thought about it... No. I have to do this because if they get the trigger, their creatures are... the Boyd, at least, is going to be bigger than the Scavenger Regent is capable of dealing with, so... Wipe the Boyd. No problems here. Feeling pretty good. Overlord's ticking down. Executing exactly as we drew it up. We can answer another Boyd with our Disruptive Stormbrood, which they know about, so they're just playing into this for whatever reason. I don't know. Probably should have been a little more thoughtful about that. Let's Forest Cycle. Let's just grab this forest so we can Forest Cycle again. Makes sense to me. Probably going to be a Virtue of Persistence game. Going to take some healthy beats from this Vine Stalk. But we'll have our Overlord to block with next turn. And we're getting into the territory of just casting these Bristlebacks, really. Yeah, I guess we just cast a Bristleback here. It's better through removal on my Baelmerk. Pretty decent board. Probably going to go for the Virtue next turn. Going to be tough for them to deal with that. Yes, it's Nurturing Bristleback. This penny bin common from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Yes, it's a big dinosaur. Ooh, you have one of your own. Huge. Okay. Well, we're not dying to it quite yet. If we push pull their Ouroboros, and then they trigger and then trigger, putting on 3 counters on all of our creatures, swinging with 2 4-power Ouroboros, an 8-power Overlord, an 8-power Bristleback, and a 6-power Dino. That's 16 plus 20 is 22. I think that forces them to block at the very least. And then we untap with a blocker of our own. Yep. Okay, cool. Good at game 1. Bring in the board wipes. Bring in a couple Broncos. That's a little better on the play, maybe. Yeah, let's just keep it like this. Interaction. Take out a push-pull. They're probably going to think about bringing in Graveyard Hate. Just take out the push-pull. Take out... go down on a claim, perhaps. Could be a little dangerous. They are like an aggro deck after all. Hurting ourselves is not necessarily always the best choice there. Gotta mulligan this. Too risky. This is pretty good. I like the double Scavenger Regent. I guess I like a single Scavenger Regent. Land drops. We can find our green if we need it. Okay. Double Nurturing Bristleback. Badgermole Cub. Kind of a problem. Okay, that kind of solves everything. So we can answer Ouroboros at instant speed, and then if they don't have it, we get to cycle the Bristleback here. There's a Surak. Not a huge deal here. Gonna try to postpone, I think. Until we can kind of cleanly hit everything with the Scavenger Regent for 5. Or for X equals 3. Play a Mortuary. Another Stormbrood. We can put that in the graveyard. Just go ahead and pass here. If they just go like wide, maybe we just kill off the Surak and then Scavenger Regent. Gonna hit me. Well, in this case, I think I should try to kill Surak. That seems right to me. Don't need to show them any dragons here. They might have like an Overprotect, I suppose. Or a Repulsive Mutation. Drunith. Scavenger Regent X equals 2 sets them back quite a lot here. Pretty happy with that result. Stuck on 2 lands. We're kind of in the driver's seat now. Duskmourn's Claim looking pretty good next turn. Could help them find lands, I suppose, but we can Duskmourn's Claim and kill their elf, which puts us in a good spot. We both hit lands. Good for them. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. We can forest cycle this Bristleback, hit double green, and surveil the top of our library. Hold off on this second Scavenger Regent, which is in range of just killing an Ouroboros anyway. Surveil. Yeah, we'll take a Disruptive Stormbrood. Chunk them for 5. Wan Chi Tong Librarian. Didn't I, like, cycle this Nurturing Bristle back on my turn? Couldn't they have drawn a card off of that? Kind of weird. Swing with Wan Chi Tong. 1 damage. Pass. Kind of sick for us. Virtue of Persistence. Well, I guess I get to kill off Wan Chi Tong. Right? They Repulsive Mutation X's 2, which is not enough to dodge that on either way. On either axis, I can still pay for it. Cool. Now if I Disruptive Stormbrood, same thing. Keep them off of mana here. They might have a second Wan Chi Tong. They don't even tap the mana. Trigger the Duskmourn's Claim. Okay. I take 1. They take 0. Hitting our land drops, though. Once again, I have no problem. I have no qualms with this. Not a single qualm. Probably just going to go for the Virtue next turn if they let me. Although, might be better to just clean up this board. Can I do both? 7 mana. Not quite. Pass. Draw another swamp. If I fire this off and they have the Ouroboros, like if I fire off the Scavenger Regent and they have the Ouroboros, I'm in a much worse spot. I can take 9 damage here. Play the Virtue. See if they have anything to say about it. Or I can just play the Bristleback. A little more reliable. Actually just blocks. It's a bigger board than what they have. Chunk them for 3. Another Duskmourn's Claim should speed things up quite a lot. Good follow-up to Scavenger Regent. Ability. Azure Beastbinder. Does pretty much nothing against us. Gene. So I can Scavenger Regent for 3. Oh, I can Day of Black Sun. Yeah, that's just better. Get Day of Black Sun for 2. And play Duskmourn's Claim. And hit you for 5. Okay. 3-1, baby. 3-1. It's happening. Hey, with this deck, a 3-2 is a dub. That's a dub. That's an F&M hero level sort of deck. You show up with your Cat-Gator, Parker Luck deck, you get a 3-2. That's you're going home pretty happy, I think. At least I am. At least I am. Final round. Durotan. 3-1. Fun deck. Powerful stuff. The grind is real. The grind is really real. Decent hand. It helps out their mulliganing here. We have removal. We can cycle for a Underground Mortuary. I like any hand that has Duskmourn's Claim, really, to be honest. This is most effective if we drop it turn 3. Sometimes we can just kill our opponent straight up. And they won't be able to do anything about it, usually, game 1. Cecil. Dark Knight. They're going to help us a little bit. Burning them here. I like the 3rd swamp. Okay, Caustic Exhale is a pretty good draw. I'm just going to hold up the Exhale, I think, here. If they play a land, I think I just have to kill Cecil. There's no counterspell that taxes for 1. No reason to show off any dragons. Play around them ninjutsuing Kaito. I'm just going to jam. Pretty unlikely that they have a counterspell for this. But they could. They could be on The good one, Phantom Interference. I think it's pretty good, personally. Reading Duskmourn's Claim, fair enough. We've all been there. See if they flash in a Flood Pit's Drowner here. I guess they could flash in Tishana's Tidebinder, which is fine. It doesn't turn off the Duskmourn's Claim, but it will counter this first trigger. Denying us both cards. They're going to probably go for a fast Kaito here just to keep the pressure up. No. I wonder what they have. Let's go for a push-pull. I think that makes the most sense to me. Just try to push this dead. Okay. I think we want to hit 5 mana. Let's go ahead and plan to cycle this Bristleback. Trigger the Duskmourn's Claim. Fire up their Soulstone Sanctuary. Makes sense to me. We both reveal swamps. How cute. In perfect sync. Maybe they just jam Kaito and start making their ninjas big. That'd be pretty good against me right now, actually. If they did that, I might not be able to win that game. Decides instead to attack and pass. Cycle the Bristleback. Gonna grab I guess I'll grab a Mortuary. Plan to just use the Stormbrood here. Yeah, that's a good draw. It's a really good draw. Try to destroy the Sanctuary, and then hopefully we can destroy their other one with this Caustic Exhale. Fire up the second Sanctuary. Huge for us. Deal with 2 of these guys. We'll pay the extra. Yeah, I think we pay the extra, because I think I just want to hardcast this Balemerc, is my inclination. Cycle this turn, or sorry, surveil this turn. There's another Balemerc. Chunk them for 5. We get chunked for 2. They're down quite a bit on lands. They need a second blue source. There they go. Now we're in Enduring Curiosity range. Let's just go ahead. I think maybe we hardcast a Scavenger Regent and Impendent Overlord. Give them some stuff to think about. Essence Scatter. Huge for us. Huge for us. Play the Scavenger Regent. If that's all they have and they don't have like Enduring Curiosities, we don't care if they Essence Scatter our stuff. I may be getting the read on this wrong though. They may not be like the tempo list. This, because they have Essence Scatter in their list, this could be like the Demons list where they're just trying to mill me. Doomsday something? The like 6 mana all black guy. Thinking about killing my Regent here. They decide to get rid of a Tragic Trajectory. Okay, there's a Flood Pit's Drowner. Good to know. Take a little damage off of our Duskmourn's Claim. Would not mind drawing a Cat-Gator here. There's a bat. Okay, so this has to be like the Kaito tempo list. There's a swamp. Let's go ahead. We will impend this Overlord. Probably cast a Scavenger Regent. Give them some stuff to think about with their Flood Pit's Drowner here. Or maybe I just have to kill off the Siren and hope I hit something good off of Duskmourn's Claim. We know they're going to hit a bat. Because if I play the Scavenger Regent and it just blocks, like, and they just Flood Pits Drowner it, then I'm taking 4 and then 4. I think this might buy me a turn, even though I'm taking 2 off of the bat here. Come on, Cat-Gator. Oh, swamps, no. Blood Pits Drowner. Getting a little unlucky off these Duskmourn Claims hits, but that's the fun of the deck. Feels so good when it works. All right, coming in with Kaito. So pretty much the only thing we could draw at this point to get us back in the game, I think, is Cat-Gator. Or push, pull, push might do it, actually. They're surveilling, putting 2 away. There's a Scavenger Regent. That won't do it unless I hit something good off of this Parker Luck, maybe. I could let's set an end step stop here. Maybe I draw my Bitter Triumph and I can kill Kaito. No. All right, the idea was sound. Just hit a few too many lands. Let's bring in the Caustic Broncos on the play. They'll probably cut their early interaction. Maybe we bring in Rise of Sozin to be able to put Kaito away once and for all. Go down a push pull. Go down some Storm Broods. These ones aren't too important. And we'll go down to 1 Storm Brood. Try it like this. So the Rise of Sozin might be a decent option. It's a little slow, but definitively answering Kaito if it resolves is pretty nice. The problem with board wipes against this list, though, is that, they don't hit Kaito. So, probably not right. Final game. No. Gotta win 2 more games. If we lose this right here, right now, a solid 3-2 record with a fun list. If we win, gotta win another one. Mulligan this. This is the exact kind of hand I like to see. Well, let's put back the Overlord here. Keep some removal around to answer some of their early plays. Control player sit up. Shock. What could they have? Oh, like a Null or a Spell Pierce or something? Weird. Yeah, I bet you didn't keep in any removal for this. Hopefully we get a little lucky. Kind of the whole point. They're reading my horse. Recently featured in another video of mine. Let's just go ahead and get this binder off the field. Actually, is it just better? It's probably just better to play the Duskmourn's Claim here. Let's swing in. Okay, hurt ourselves a lot. We can't do that too much. Play the Duskmourn's Claim. Go all in. Yes, good hit. Give them a land. Hopefully that won't matter. Just looking to try to double spell next turn. They're going to be able to bind my Bronco. Lasso it right up. This is magic as Richard Garfield intended. Rat Rogue, lassoing up my Snake Horse. Not going for a Kaito quite yet. Nurturing Bristleback helps us hit a land drop here. We can cycle the Bristleback. I guess they could counter this with a Tishana's Tidebinder. That'd be pretty good. Grab a Forest. Go for a Virtue of Persistence here. They might have a Spell Pierce. Recoup a little life, hopefully. There's the Spell Pierce. Now let's see if they have the perfect little Blood Pits Drowner to follow it all up. Could be bad. No attacks. Big hits off of Duskmourn's Claim. Come on. Chunk you for 8. Chunk you for 8. Put the game away. Shoot the Sheriff. I don't think I care about that. Ooh, 7's huge. And we get another Virtue. Come on. One more, baby. One more, baby. Kaito? Enduring Curiosity. Ooh. This could be it. This just could be it. Travail? For all the marbles? Put the swamp away? Virtue of Persistence, Enduring Curiosity? Keep their damage down? Save the Bitter Triumph for when Kaito resolves? Probably just kill him right here? It's good. It's good. All right. For all the marbles. Game 3. Did we hit 2 Virtual Persistences in a row right there? Chunk them out of the game. All right. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Final game. Final game. Let's bring in the Day of Black Suns. They're going to be a little better than the Scavenger Regents at answering like a board full of Beast Binders, I think. Nah. Maybe one. I don't know. Maybe one. Maybe one's fine. Go down like go down to 2 Broncos on the play. Rise of Sozin? I don't know. Just try to hope we hit the Parker luck and they don't have an answer for it. I genuinely don't know. Really could go either way. They're on the play. Huge boon for them. It all comes down to this. Exactly as I would want it to. Back in the corner. On the draw. Match number 5. Pretty decent hand. Very interactive. Bronco could go all the way. We won a game even though we chunked ourselves for 7 off of our Caustic Bronco hit. Okay, would love a dragon to open up the reduction on the Caustic Exhales here. Sirens. Scavenger Regent one time. Another Virtue. Let's go for our Bronco. They could have Kaito here. Not a whole lot we can do. Just got to be a little proactive, I think. Fight fire with fire. No Kaito. Huge. Duskmourn's Claim. Gonna swing in. They could have Tidebinder here for the horse. Would not be the worst thing to happen. Gambling. Big gambles. Come on. One time. Swamp. Yes. It's like Bob. It's like Bob, you know, Dark Confidant, except 1,000 times more dangerous. Because our deck is just so full of these big, dangerous hits. Gonna go for the Duskmourn's Claim. Worked out well last time. They could annul this or Spell Pierce. But being as we are on 3 mana, just gonna go for 3 mana play. They might go for like an Enduring Curiosity here. Would be pretty good for them. It kind of seems like they have ass garbage in their hand. Kind of seems like their hand is full of garbage. Sweet. Huge for us. You gotta love it when an opponent has nothing going on. We're swinging. Gotta hit a dragon. Tidebinder? Tidebinder. They don't like that I'm drawing. Let's let them block if they want. Okay. Let's go for a Virtue. Kill the Tidebinder. Play another Bronco. Or maybe I hold up removal for a potential Enduring Curiosity. And then just kill a Siren if they don't have it. Yeah, that's probably better. If they go for a map here, yeah, they've played a land. They're going for a map. I'm just going to kill a Siren. I don't think they have anything going on. This seems right to me. They can't play Curiosity. They don't have a Kaito. They would have used it 1,000 years ago if they had one. Swamp's not bad. Once more. Into the brink. Hope we don't absolutely chunk ourselves here. Oh, you're so good to me, Caustic Bronco. You're so good to me. Go for a Duskmourn's Claim. Hold up mana through a Spell Pierce. Sweet. Just gonna pass. Hold up the Caustic Exhale again. Come on, chunk them now. All the luck. Okay, that's not bad. Day of Black Sun. I think we're winning this. I think we're winning this. A lot of help from our opponent here. Shoot the Sheriff. Shouldn't be able to shoot my Bronco. Come on. You know this guy's a bastard. All right. Firing up the Restless Reef. Coming in. Milling me. Because we're drawing so many cards at this point, I'm just going to kill off this Spyglass Siren. I think that makes sense in my head. Sets them back a little bit. Okay, I guess the Day of Black Sun would have been better. Let's go for a Mortuary. Scavenger Regent. Fine. Kill Cecil. Play a Bronco. And now we can, with the Scavenger Regent, actually saddle up the Bronco. Chunk them for 4. We're going to get the 4-1, baby. I think we're going to get there. We're at a healthy 14. This would be so exciting. This would be huge for me. Oh. It's like the feeling I had when I was recording the blue-green lessons video. It's just like, I can't believe it's working so well. Take 3. Let's go for our Scavenger Regent. Let's just try to go for the dub here. I guess they could have like... Oh, they could have... Flood Pit Drowner. Tap my Bronco. Maybe I just play the Regent and pass. Let's go for a Surveil, see if I can just kill them. That'll do it. Play a Regent, see if they counter this. Not even gonna go for it. Let the Duskmourn's Claim do it. What a sweet run. What a sweet run. What a sweet run. 4-1. Pretty good. Pretty good. Showing off the power of Duskmourn's Claim. That was the big star for us. Most of the games that looked really, really strong involved just these huge chunks off of the Duskmourn's Claim. We didn't get to show off the Cat-Gators too much. Let's be honest. They didn't look that great. But they did their thing every now and then. They would have looked good in a lot of positions. We just didn't happen to draw them. For all the doubters in the chat, Nurturing Bristleback looked really, really good, didn't it? Just being able to help us guarantee that we're hitting our land drops and like off these push pulls actually was super relevant like a lot of the time. Virtue of Persistence and All-Star. Huge chunks off of the Duskmourn's Claim. Early life gain. it all kind of worked out. Overlord, Dragon package, loving it, loving it. I don't think I would change too much about this. And I will say, it gets a lot better next set too because you have access to Overgrown Tomb, which actually means I think you probably play like Ice-Till Explorer. Because if you're on like this Overlord of the Balemark plan, and you're trying to make the Cat-Gator work, just put in Ice-Till Explorer. Maybe take out the Duskmourn's Claim for the game one, like move them to your sideboard along with the Broncos. And when people think you're like doing this big graveyard setup, and then you hit them with the Duskmourn's Claim Bronco combo, you're just chunking them out, and they have a Rest in Peace that does nothing. You know, something to think about. Wow, fun video. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Thanks for, if you've subscribed to me recently, appreciate you. I'll be back every day posting standard content. I had a question recently on one of my videos about whether or not I plan on streaming, or if I've been streaming any of this content. I'm not. I'm just recording these as I have time to do so. I'm a couple videos ahead right now, but for the most part, I'm recording these every day. And were I to be significantly ahead on my recordings and I had time to plan some stuff out, I might consider streaming, maybe like one day a week on a scheduled stream to start, just to see if people have interest. You know, and if you're subscribed to me or you're following me, you can get the details on that. But for now, the plan is just to keep putting out these videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.